looking at my notes. I don't want to take a whole lot of time with this video. This video is going to cover breathing. I've had the opportunity over the years to be blessed kind of with an insight about breathing. And I've talked to other people about it, and this video is going to fall under my Ghetto yoga forum, because I'm going to call it Ghetto yoga breathing. And that's because in the ghetto you have to run a lot. You're running away from things. The cops are chasing you, whatever, trying to, get out of trouble or what have you. So breathing comes in real handy in the ghetto. And I'm just joking, I'm playing with you right now, but kind of had to kind of segue into it somehow. So the reason why I kind of want to compare my breathing to real yoga breathing, and it's my understanding, I'm not a yoga expert or anything like that, but I have had people that have come to me with their horses, with problems with their horses, and pretty soon I find out it's problems with the owner, and they're having a lot of different suppressed feelings. And I've had talks with them about, well, have you tried breathing, or maybe mostly to do with anxiety and fear, but other feelings as well. And they said, well, yeah, I try to do my yoga breathing, but it doesn't seem to help. And I thought about that, and what I realized, I tried to explain, is that yoga breathing is pretty much breathing that you do from the belly, and it's kind of controlled breathing that you do in a sort of sitting position, meditative. And the kind of breathing I'm talking about is more about kind of your everyday kind of walking around breathing, and believe it or not, most people, most adults, do not breathe very much during their day. Yes, they breathe enough to take in oxygen and to keep moving and this and that, but when you come against a lot of problems in your life of suppressed feelings, you realize really how much you're holding back your breath. So anyway, I talked to the woman who was a yoga person and did yoga regularly, and she had her horse, and so I tried to explain to her, what I call more, athletic breathing, and she said that she was very honest, that she would try it. The basis of the yoga breathing that I've heard is more like belly breathing, kind of in your solar plexus, in your belly. And just to go back a little bit further, when we're first born as infants, we are mouth breathers. And that's because the nasal passages on the baby are real tiny, and so they're primarily mouth breathers, and that makes them a belly breather. Their chests are really tiny, their bellies are big, but their chests are really tiny, and their lungs are formed, but they're still growing. Their belly, and so they breathe from their belly. And I think this is what yoga tries to help people with, is to try and get in touch with that again, which is all good. I'm not judging or anything like that. I'm just trying to I just found a kind of more of a advantageous way to help people with strong emotions that come up during any time. Something may happen and it gets the feelings get elicited, or you can just an interaction with another individual, or you see something, or you hear some music or whatever, and it can trigger some feelings from the past. And we all want to make lists of all the negative feelings we have, and primarily we wouldn't be doing a video like this or having to focus on our breathing so much if we had more positive feelings in our lives, but we have mostly negative feelings in our lives. So to try to heal from those feelings, the idea is to try and, what I call, breathing those feelings away. Because when we have those feelings, we totally shut down our breathing mechanism in many regards. Kind of going back from infancy and childhood, being belly breathers or mouth breathers. When we get into adulthood and get old, even before adulthood, we get older and we become what we call diaphragmatic breathers. We breathe from our diaphragm. And our diaphragm is a little bit of muscle that lays in between the bottom of our rib cage and our abdomen, the upper part of our abdomen. And that muscle is controlled automatically, so it's something that we don't think about. Our breathing is something we don't think about. But ironically, with these traumas in our lives, it actually, even though we have automatic breathing, what happens is that there's almost like an automatic shutdown of breathing as well. So we have to kind of re-trigger our proper breathing to get through these emotional moments. So become diaphragmatic breathers from the diaphragm, and we engage the chest when we're adults and we breathe that way. But as I was saying earlier, when we get into adulthood and we have all these things that we've grown up with, these traumas and this kind of thing, even our diaphragmatic breathing becomes fairly shut down. So what I try, before I go into that, I have a list of some of the negative feelings that we can have. Now we'll have, some of these on this list are pretty, can be superficial, pretty close to the surface. And others are very deep, and sometimes we don't even know that this is what we have. And it's those really, really deeper ones that we want to, in many cases, bring forth so that we can try and breathe them away and heal from the paradigms that these traumas create in our lifetimes. So I'm just going to do a quick list here. There's many more, I'm sure. I just wanted to do a quick list, though. Maybe you can compare if these are things that you feel, and we can go from there. So I'm going to just go ones that are the most common. Anxiety, apprehension. You can feel worthlessness. You can feel fear. You can feel unappreciated. You can feel blank, like your mind is not thinking at all. You can feel vulnerable. You can feel fragile. You can feel numb. You can feel anger and rage. And you can have a feeling of emptiness, feelings of dread, and feelings of impending doom, like your life is literally going to end, but it's in your mind, so to speak, but it's very real. You can feel used. You can feel unworthy. You can feel humiliated or humiliation. You can feel lost. You can feel abandoned. You can feel attacked. You can feel bullied. And my last one here is you can feel a lack of confidence, or inconfident or unconfident. So that's just a kind of a short list of some of the feelings that people can have. And like I said, they're either, they can be fairly shallow. For example, fear. When I say fear being shallow, only that it's pretty close to the surface, and you can name it really easy. And other ones that are pretty deep, and sometimes we don't even know that they're there, and we live with them so much that it's almost like we don't even recognize it. It's part of our whole way we are. And some of those are unworthy, and another one can be a sense of emptiness, although that can be at the surface, but sometimes it's really can be quite deep as well. So I think that covers what I really wanted to say about sort of the talking head stuff about it, and then I'm going to demonstrate the kind of breathing that I would like that helps me. You can take it or leave it, it doesn't matter to me, but it really does. It's helped me and it's helped other people. Oh, one last anecdote I wanted to share with you was a woman that I knew with regards to the horses, and her fear and her dread became so acute when she was around her horse that was almost unfunctional. She would even have these feelings when she even thought about her horse when she was at work. And this was kind of extraordinary. So what I tried to help her with, and I tried to explain to her that in fact that these feelings that we have are just signals about our life, and that the only really way to dissipate them is to actually what a lot of people call is embracing them, embracing these negative things that we have. So you in a way kind of conjure them up, you bring them up in a safe sort of way, and then the breathing, when you're feeling it, the breathing, if you breathe the way I will demonstrate, it actually sort of kind of like does a click or something inside, and then everything kind of dissipates. And so if you practice that, practice thinking, even many times when we have these negative feelings, we don't want to even we don't even want to feel them, so we do everything we can to eliminate the feeling. And we don't have to go into any of that, but so we want to suppress them, we want to push them away, we're not comfortable with them, so we don't want them anywhere around us. But the idea is that if you actually welcome them to you, there's a way that we can help breathe those feelings away. So I had this woman, I encouraged her to think about her horse at work, and it was a timing thing. I would say, don't only do it for like 5 minutes or whatever, but when you find yourself with some free time at work, think about your horse and see what the feeling comes up, the negative feeling. And then what I wanted her to do was to breathe the way I'm going to demonstrate, and then do that a few times, and then see how she feels after that. And if it, the idea is to do it slowly, not very often, because we don't want to go, welcoming these negative feelings can sometimes be challenging if you're at work or whatever. But like I said, this is stuff that we can do all the days, all the hours, all the minutes that you walk through the day. So anyhow, she did say that that was one of the things that really, really helped her. And then slowly but surely, what would happen is she started to have no more negative feelings at work when she thought about her horse. And then she would only start to have the negative feelings as she was getting closer to the barn. So she'd be in her car. And so then I suggested to start doing the breathing again at that point. And pretty soon we got her to be able to actually be able to get to the pen where her horse was. And after that, things happened, and so we weren't connected anymore. So she went her way, I went my way. But she was able to actually go through her entire day thinking of being able to think about her horse without a negative feeling, and driving to the barn. And so she was able to enjoy those moments of not being with her horse, instead of having negative feelings about her horse. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. So let's get to it. The way I want to demonstrate the breathing is, and again, a lot of people can have respiratory problems. They have asthma or some other kind of a disease process going on. So part of it has to do with taking a deep breath. But if you have these issues, don't feel so self-conscious or turn it off because you can't take as deep a breath as I can. But take as much of a deep breath as you can, just short of when your lungs maybe start to spasm and you cough. So we don't want you to get to that point, but just enough. And gradually you might find, I'm not guaranteeing it, that you might be able to take deeper and deeper breaths, despite the disease process. So first what we want to do is we want to control the breath. So we don't want you to gulp in air like that, okay, through the mouth. We want to go back to like when we were a kid, or back to being a diaphragmatic breather, which is breathing mostly from your nose and your diaphragm, and then bringing the air into your chest. So you want to take a deep breath through your nose like this, and then you hold it for two, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then when you exhale really slow. So again, I'll try it again, this all the way through. So I'm having a bad feeling, I go in. And when you exhale, you want to exhale as much out without, contorting your body to push any air out. So you can see my shoulders, it's going to come up, and then at the very end, they're going to go pretty low. They're as low as they can go. So we go again. And you can have your eyes open. You can close your eyes. It doesn't matter. Because the thing about it is that it's important just to focus on the breathing, not on the negative feeling you're having, not on even a picture in your mind about breathing. Just do the breathing. So we want to turn your mind off for a little bit. So we go in through the nose. So we're taking deep breaths without hyperventilating. Sometimes people hyperventilating is also kind of on the opposite end of slowing your breathing down, or skipping breaths throughout your day as you're doing things, or what have you. So some people pant, and some people like take deep breaths. And this is one of the things that I have to try when I'm explaining my breathing to people. We don't want you hyperventilating. We just want you to take one in, hold it for 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then let it out real slow. And then you do that until that feeling just is gone. And then depending on how those feelings are, in the moment, you just take as many breaths as you can like that, and then hopefully that will help. I can't think of anything else to add on that. I think that's it. If I can think of anything else, I'll go ahead and make another video, but I hope this helps somebody, anybody. I hope you share it with whoever you want to share it with. It's helped me a lot in my life. It's been a really bad last 2 days at the barn. There's been lots of horse and people drama, and there's been some elicitation of long ago feelings that I had when I was a kid, and I've had to use this breathing, so it was really fortunate that in a way that I'm making the video now, because I've had to use the breathing the last couple of days, and it's helped a lot. I'm more relaxed. And I think that's it. Have a good night, and we'll talk soon. Bye.